At 84, Dionne Warwick admits he was the only one who could do that to me. Dionne Warwick was born Marie Dionne Warwick on December 12, 1940 in East Orange, New Jersey, to a family where music was integral to everyday life. His mother, Lee Drinkard Warwick, was manager of the Drinkard Singers, one of the most highly regarded gospel groups of the era. Her father, Manel Warwick, supported the family financially and also instilled a great passion for music and the arts. From a young age, Dionne was surrounded by strong voices, fervent worship, and a heritage of African-American gospel music. She was brought up in a tight family where they cherished faith, determination, and fellowship. The Warwick home was one of music at every turn, with rehearsals, performances, and church services making up Dionne's earliest recollections. Dionne, her sister Dee Dee, and her Aunt Houston were all very involved in the world of the gospel, making up their own group called the Gospel. It was through this that Dionne began to develop a stage presence and the vocal clarity and expressiveness that would come to mark her career. Family connections would become a key part of her musical fate. Dionne was a member of a family that had some of the finest voices in history. Her cousin was the unmatched Whitney Houston, who would go on to be one of the most famous vocalists of all time. A different cousin, Dee Dee Warwick, was successful in music as well. This network of family talent provided a setting in which ambition and artistry prevailed, and Dionne soon knew that she too was destined to have a career that would keep her far removed from the confines of her church. Dionne Warwick's path to stardom was in humble beginnings, singing sessions while still continuing her studies at Hart College of Music in Connecticut. Music in Connecticut. In addition to the gospel, she provided voice recording for leading artists, which caught the eye of industry experts who noticed her incredible tone and control. It was during a recording session that destiny replaced her. In the early 1960s, Dionne met the young composer Burt Bacharach and lyricist Hal David. The three collaborated and went on to produce one of the greatest songwriting duos in the history of music. Bacharach was instantly impressed by Dionne's vocal clarity and the capacity to express nuanced emotion. With Away David's heart-wrenching lyrics, the group wrote songs that showcased Dionne's own particular gifts, her capacity to combine sophistication with warmth and vulnerability with assurance. Her first single, Don't Make Me Over, 1962, saw the start of a career that would reshape pop and soul music. The 1960s became Dionne's decade of triumph with a string of unforgettable hits, including Walk On By, Anyone Who Had a Heart, Message to Michael, I Say a Little Prayer, and Do You Know the Way to San Jose. These songs were more than radio successes. They became cultural touchstones, blending elegance with accessibility and establishing Dionne Warwick as one of the premier female vocalists of her time. Warwick's career stands out not merely for the number of her hits, but for the enduring nature of her work. With over 100 million records sold worldwide and over 50 Billboard singles, she established a niche that few were able to match. Her smooth mezzo-soprano voice bore an indelible emotional complexity, giving every song she sang the quality of the intimate and the universal. Throughout the 1970s, Dionne adapted to the new trends in popular music. She signed a recording contract with Warner Brothers Records and eventually at Arista Records, where she experienced a great comeback through the tutelage of Clive Davis. I'll Never Love This Way Again and Deja Vu gave her fresh Grammy Awards and solidified her durability in a competitive market. One of the greatest moments in her career occurred in 1985 when she collaborated with Elton John, Gladys Knight, and Stevie Wonder to record That's What Friends Are For. Initially planned as a straightforward collaboration, the song became an anthem of empathy when proceeds went toward AIDS research. Not only did the song turn into a chart-topping hit, but also proved that Warwick could utilize her platform for good, that caring mattered. It became a moment of division in the battle against AIDS, promoting Warwick not only as a performer, but as a humanitarian. Her roll call of duets reads like a who's who of music royalty. From collaborating with Isaac Hayes and Smokey Robinson to singing a duet with Luther Vandross and Jeffrey Osborne, Dionne's voice meshed well with others and yet remained distinct. She was a bridging entity in music, cutting across genres and generations. Other than her phenomenal success in music, Dionne Warwick has always employed her celebrity status for the larger benefit. She has been strongly engaged with charitable and humanitarian causes, lending her voice to international issues. She was named a United Nations Global Ambassador for the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, in 2002. In this capacity, she traveled extensively, spreading the word about hunger and food security, particularly among developing nations. She was a source of hope for struggling communities, demonstrating that celebrity power could be translated into change-making in the real world. Her activism has also involved an anti-stigma campaign against HIV/AIDS, racial disparities, and poverty. That's what Friends Are for was only one instance of her power to mobilize communities with music. But she went on to advocate for these causes long after the song dropped out of the charts. Warwick proved that she was more than a singer with a singing voice, but a woman with a strong moral conscience. Even as musical tastes changed during the 1990s and 2000s, Dionne Warwick was still a force to be reckoned with. She still toured the world, sang before sold-out crowds, and produced new recordings that brought her artistry to new generations. Her unique phrasing and elegant renditions of lyrics kept her music from ever losing its emotional impact. It was in 1966, at the peak of her emerging popularity as one of the most exciting new voices in American popular music, that Dionne Warwick wed actor and drummer William Elliott. Their marriage garnered attention, not just because Warwick was already becoming a household name with hit records written by Burt Bacharach and Hal David, but also because Elliott was a talented musician and performer in his own right, known primarily as a jazz drummer and part-time actor. The two shared a passion for music and the entertainment business that first brought them together. However, as is often the case with young couples trying to balance love, career, and the pressures of fame, their marriage encountered challenges early on. Just a year later, in May 1967, the couple divorced, marking a brief but passionate chapter in Warwick's personal life. Yet, the story of Warwick and Elliott did not end there. In spite of the pressures that had led to their first breakdown, the couple realized that their relationship was too powerful to be broken forever. After a reconciliation period, they agreed to restore their marriage. In a romantic move, Warwick and Elliott remarried in August 1967, opting for the magical and glamorous surroundings of Milan, Italy as the destination for their redo wedding. Milan, one of the world capitals of fashion, made for a beautifully stylish setting to their renewed devotion, and the remarriage was a new start with hope, forgiveness, and the guarantee of stability in the years to come. Their home life started expanding in the subsequent years. On January 18, 1969, in East Orange, New Jersey, Dionne Warwick had one of the most joyful experiences of her life when she delivered her first son, David Elliott. The birth of David brought a new chapter in the life of Warwick, who, in spite of her hectic lifestyle as an international recording artist, welcomed motherhood with utter devotion and love. East Orange, where she then resided, provided a venue where Warwick might seek to balance the extreme demands of her career with the duties and pleasures of motherhood. David would also follow the path of his parents, entering the music profession as a drummer and vocalist in his own right, a direct validation of the artistic legacy given him. A couple of years after 1973, Warwick's household expanded again when she gave birth to her second son, Damon Elliott. With Damon's birth, Warwick and Elliott had two sons now, and their home showed a mixture of creativity, culture, and the intricacies of show business life. Damon, too, inherited the musical genes of the family and became a Grammy award-winning songwriter and producer, collaborating with some of the biggest artists in music today. His life, like that of his older brothers, is a tribute to the musical atmosphere and exposure they received while growing up at the Warwick-Elliott home. Yet, with all the blessings of family and efforts at reconciliation, Warwick's and Elliott's marriage eventually came undone again under pressure from the entertainment industry and personal differences. On May 30th, 1975, with almost 10 years of effort in trying to keep their relationship intact, the couple parted ways. Warwick, who had tried all her life to reconcile her work commitments with her personal life, was hit by the bitter reality that her marriage could no longer be maintained. In December 1975, later the same year, she was legally divorced in Los Angeles, California, ending a marriage that had been both stormy and passionate. Although their own relationship struggled and did not ultimately last, the time that Warwick and Elliot spent together had a lasting impact on her own narrative. David and Damon, their two sons, would come to be her pride and joy, inheriting both the musical talents and creative passions of their parents. The dramas of marriage, reconciliation, motherhood, and divorce deeply colored Warwick's life journey, instilling her with a strength and richness that continued to resonate throughout her life and career. At the age of 84, Dionne Warwick, the iconic vocalist behind some of the most enduring classics in music history, shocked many when she made a very personal revelation regarding one of the all-time greatest entertainers, Frank Sinatra. With a life of accomplishments, awards, and meetings with some of the most extraordinary celebrities of the entertainment industry, Warwick has never faltered in carrying herself gracefully, honestly, and confidently. But when she spoke of Sinatra, there was that precious openness in her speech, an admission that even someone as resilient and self-assured as she could be deeply affected by another's presence. "He was the only one who could do that to me," she confessed quietly, her voice weighing decades' worth of memories. For Dionne Warwick, who made a career out of poise and professionalism, Sinatra was more than a fellow performer. Like a beacon, Sinatra represented an aura that could disarm even the most seasoned performer.